Ba, 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 da, da. Hey kids, nice to see you again. So another edition of American Football Friday, and today we're going to talk about defense. Okay, we talked about offense last time, talking about defense, then we'll talk about special teams next week. But yeah, so we'll just give you an understanding of some basic defense and maybe get into a few terms as well, like blitz. What's a blitz? So anyway, before we do that, I do have a dad joke for you. So, what do you call a boat full of polite football players? A good sportsmanship. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I've erased the names, right, of all this here, but I just wanted you to see that. So now you can picture these guys are going this way. These are all offensive players. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in the X's that are coming against them, okay? And then I'll name what those positions are. But I just wanted you to see this before I drew those in so it's not confusing, because I'm going to leave this here so you can see. Then we're going to put in the defense too. Okay, so here we go. All right, you got to know this information. So I realize it might be a little cumbersome, but we got to get there. Okay, so we drew in our offensive players. Now we're drawing our defensive players, and I have them all as X's. Okay, again, there's so many variations on this, but this is a basic offense. This is a basic defense. These days they move guys around a lot, but I got to get you at least started so you understand what we're doing here. Okay, so let's start with this guy. Out here is a cornerback, okay? Cornerback. Usually, he'll play this guy and cover him, and depends on the formation. Won't get into that too much right now. So you got a cornerback, and you also have a cornerback on the other side over here too. So I just put CB because cornerback, CB. Okay, let's work our way down. This is what's considered a 3-4 defense. 3-4. If you ever hear that term, 3-4, what that means is you've got three linemen. These are the three linemen right here. And then you've got four linebackers. These guys are the linebackers right here. So you got an outside linebacker, and you got an outside linebacker on the other side, right? Two outside linebackers. And then you've got a defensive tackle here and a defensive tackle here on both sides, okay? Then you got a nose guard. He goes usually right over the center, just to the side of the center, so he can try to get in between to get to the quarterback. But anyway, trying to keep it basic, right? So this is called a 3-4. When I was growing up, it was more common to have a 4-3. You'd have four linemen and three linebackers. And so just to test you here, back in the day, there was Jack Lambert from the Steelers. He's a famous middle linebacker. Dick Butkus, Ray Nitschke. They played this middle linebacker all by themselves, and you had four linemen here. But now you have two middle linebackers and two outside linebackers, so this is a lot more common, okay? And then you've got the two safeties that play back here. Again, they rotate around, and sometimes this safety will come up here, and he'll blitz, he'll rush in, and then these other guys kind of have to adjust to cover outside here. But they're counting on this safety coming up and rushing in and rushing the quarterback, so the quarterback kind of panics and has to get rid of it, and he doesn't know who's really left alone once this safety came up and blitzed. That's what a blitz is, when somebody that doesn't normally rushes. And you might have multiple guys blitz. This cornerback might try to sneak in over here and rush over here, and meanwhile this safety comes over here and guards this guy. There's so many different variations with that, because if you just stayed with the same basic defense the whole time, pretty soon the offense is going to go, okay, this guy is always there, and then I can adjust. And then pretty soon you start adjusting and you start knowing where their weak parts are, because every defense has a little bit of a weak area. And so if you mix it up and confuse him, then he can't. And so a lot of times you'll see the quarterback come up to the line, and he's looking around and going, okay, he's over there. Are they in man defense? We'll talk about that later. Man defense, zone defense, all these different defenses that they can run, and they switch it up, and they have a combination. So every team has an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. for the most part, every team. Sometimes the head coach can act in various roles too, but usually have an offensive coordinator, and he's the guy that calls the plays and tells these guys what to do, and he makes adjustments. He sees from up above, okay, they're doing this. Okay, let's do this play. Maybe that player will work. And then you have a defensive coordinator that's doing the same thing on the other side. And so it's, they're, you get a good coach, you can make, average players a lot better because they got what's called schemes, and they have different things that they do to confuse each other, right? So you do that on offense to try to confuse the defense, and the defense tries to confuse the offense, so the offense doesn't know how to run what exactly the best play to run. So anyway, I think that's all I want to cover right now. I just wanted you to see there's 11 players on offense, 11 players on defense trying to stop them. And this is, again, real basic. We can get into more complicated stuff as we go along if you want, but we had to do the field to show the field, how the field's set up. And then what comes next, I thought, was to have the different teams out there. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that, and then I'll actually talk about special teams, because I think at least, it'll probably be enough to fill the video as well. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.